Cold cases that were solved by forensics. Ted Bundy wouldn't have been caught if it wasn't for forensics. Let's find out. We're always hearing about cases being solved on an everyday basis, but sometimes they don't get solved and are left cold. Although, sometimes even the cold cases up being solved sometimes after decades of them taking place. For today's video, we are going to be talking about such cold cases that were solved by forensics. So without further ado, let's dive right in. 5. The Lindbergh Kidnapping. First up on our list, we have the Lindbergh Kidnapping. Charles Lindbergh Jr., the famed aviator's 20-month-old son, was abducted on March 1, 1932, and despite a $50,000 ransom being paid, the youngster was never released. A few kilometers from his house, his body was found in May of the same year. Bruno Hauptmann was located with over $14,000 of the ransom money in his garage after officials followed the trail of the notes used in the ransom payment. Hauptmann said that the money belonged to a friend, but crucial evidence from handwriting specialists showed that his writing was identical to that on the ransom notes. An additional forensic investigation established a link between the wood in Hauptmann's attic and the wood used to construct the makeshift ladder the abductors used to get to the kidnapped child's bedroom window. Hauptmann was found guilty and was executed in 1936. 4. The Howard Hughes Hoax. Next up on our list, we have the Howard Hughes hoax case. The renowned eccentric and secretive millionaire Howard Hughes' autobiography was fabricated in 1970 by authors Clifford Irving and Richard Susskind. They believed that their strategy would be successful because they believed Hughes would never emerge from hiding to criticize the book. Irving approached publisher McGraw-Hill with the idea that Hughes had asked him to write his autobiography and that he was only ready to communicate with the author. Irving presented fake letters that he claimed were from Hughes as evidence. As a result, McGraw-Hill consented and paid $765,000 for the book's publishing rights. But as soon as the book became known, Hughes got in touch with journalists to refute it. The millionaire would only communicate with reporters over the phone because he didn't want to be seen in public. The speaker's tone, pitch, and loudness were therefore assessed as part of a spectrographic voice print study to confirm that it was Howard Hughes. The speech analyzer successfully recognized the speaker as Hughes, despite the notes that Irving had faked before fooling a handwriting expert. Before the book was released, Irving was discovered and made a confession. He was incarcerated for 17 months, compared to Susskind's 5. The hoax, which Irving subsequently wrote a book on, was made into a big-budget movie in 2008. 3. Machine Gun Kelly. The next cold case solved on our list is that of Machine Gun Kelly. George Machine Gun Kelly was a prominent criminal during the Prohibition period who engaged in armed robberies, kidnappings, and bootlegging. He and another guy abducted rich Oklahoma City oilman Charles Urschel on July 22, 1933. The greatest ransom ever paid in abduction to date was $200,000 after a series of ransom notes and contacts. 9 days later, Urschel was safely freed. The oilman was able to recount everything to the police, since he had cunningly paid great attention to every detail throughout his adventure. Even with his eyes covered, he was able to distinguish between day and night and determine when the time of day he heard airplanes flying overhead. Additionally, he recorded the day and hour of a thunderstorm, as well as the kinds of animals he heard inside what he believed to be a farmhouse. The FBI identified Kelly's father-in-law's farm as the most likely place where Urschel was imprisoned using his recollections. However, it was Urschel's fingerprints, which he took care to leave on as many objects in the home as possible, that really connected Kelly and his crew to the kidnapping. Kelly was given a life term in jail, where he passed away in 1954. 2. The Atlanta Child Murders. Next up on our list, we have the Atlanta Child Murders. A serial murderer killed 29 individuals between 1979 and 1981, virtually all of them children, by strangling them. Wayne Williams was detained by police as he was driving away from the sound of a splash at an area where a corpse was subsequently discovered. Police had staked out a nearby river where previous bodies had been dumped. Police did not see him dump the body, thus the majority of their case was built using forensic data acquired from fibers discovered on the victims. Anyway, this wraps up our video for today. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments section down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel while you're at it.